the brother was talking about, was quoting a passage of the New Testament where what happened? Jesus was with his disciples, and what happened in this passage?
He went to sleep.
Yes, they were in a ship, they were fishing, and what happened? Yes, Jesus fell asleep, and
was a storm coming, and the boat started to sink, and
yes,
and they reclined to Jesus.
Yes, they were very afraid because they thought they would die, and that Jesus was not paying attention because he was sleeping. But so what happened then?
And then Jesus dissolved the storm, dissolved.
Yes. In fact, and what is here, the brother then in the talk, he says, well, he's trying to explain the meaning of all this, or the lessons, let's say, or the teachings of this. And he says the first meaning is that Christ removes all fear. And the second meaning, what is to remove? To remove is someone or something removes your fear is removed.
Quitar, es como sacar.
Yes, that it disappears. It's not there anymore.
I don't remember what does mean revoking, no sé cómo se pronuncia.
Rebuke.
Rebuking.
That it was increpar, to speak, because you remember that this word was used when to describe how Jesus addressed the storm. And he says he rebuked the storm and the wind. He told them to that, like he gave them an order. And that's why here we had the meaning that says the verb rebuke means to speak to someone or something very strongly because you disapprove of it, to scold, to reprimand, or to command sharply. Es como increpar, y también puede ser retar a alguien. ¿Vieron cuando uno habla con ese tono de que that's why here it says to scold or to reprimand has this meaning in English. Quiere decir retar a alguien, or to speak to someone with authority. That is to command sharply. Okay. So that's why here it says, it means that Jesus commanded the storm firmly and powerfully to stop with a very powerful voice and a very powerful tone with when you speak to someone feeling that you have authority and you have power. Okay. Well, so the meaning was this, that Christ removes all fear, and that a calm heart removes fears, and Jesus calmed the water. Jesus was calm, and with his calmness, he commanded the wind and the storm to stop, and they obeyed him. Okay, so he says something that is very beautiful because he says, when we calm the heart, which is the center of emotion, we calm fear. It's like saying that we have to connect with this peace that it is inside us. So when we connect with this peace, the fear disappears. We calm fear. And the third, it says, Christ is with us, God is with us, even when he sleeps. And here, this is like the interpretation of the passage and by Yogananda, and he said, who wants to read here? Jesus questioned his disciples' faith. What is to question? You know that this is a word that can be used as a noun or as a verb, question. A question es una pregunta, pero acá...
Es similar al español, cuestionar.
That's the meaning here. When it's used as a verb, to question someone means cuestionar, like in Spanish. Okay, so, Cari, do you want to read this passage here?
Jesus questioned his disciples' fight because they didn't realize that even though his body slept, his consciousness was awake with the Father during the storm, in the boat, in the disciples, in everything.
Okay, Jesus questioned. Questioned. Like, it's like a question when you make a question. So Jesus questions his, and this is disciples. Disciples. So he says that he kind of, yes, he questioned them because he said that it doesn't matter if he was asleep, if he was sleeping. He still was with them because, and here he uses a word that is omnipresent. If the disciple, and here we have a conditional phrase. You know that conditionals are used a lot in English, and we have different type of conditionals. So now we are going to review the different type of conditionals. This is the third type when you are talking. Why? What do we use conditionals for? We use conditionals to describe or to talk about hypothetical situations that may be in the past, in the present, in the future, and this is about a situation that could have happened but did not happen. O sea, when we are talking about something that didn't happen in the past, we use the third type of conditional. That's why here it says, if the disciples had faith in the omnipresent consciousness of Jesus, they would have known his inner consciousness was aware of their plight.
What is plight?
This is the most difficult type of conditionals. But let me share with you.
What does plight mean?
Plight is trouble or a difficult situation, a difficult moment. This is plight. Okay, so as I said, we have different type of conditionals. The first one, conditionals are used to talk about possibilities, consequences, imaginary situations, or past regrets. This is past regrets is the use of the third conditional, most of the time. Es cuando hablamos de algo que nos hubiera gustado que pasara y no pasó, o nos lamentamos por algo que no hicimos y por no haberlo hecho, podría haber sido distinto. That's why it says a past regret. But let's start with the first type of conditional, that is the most usual or most simple. Not most usual, it's the more simple. The most simple, that is, when you talk about a real or possible future situations, and you use, the structure is, the key things in conditionals is to know what verb tense you have to use. In the first conditionals, you use present and future. The first part of the sentence, in the first part, you use the present tense, and in the other part, the future. So, for instance, here, if it rains, I will stay at home. It's like a real or possible future situation. O sea, es algo que no estamos hablando de algo que podría haber sucedido y no sucedió. Estamos hablando de una situación real que puede pasar o no. Entonces, para eso, we use present and future. Here, rains, I will stay at home. Si llueve, me quedo en casa. Me voy a quedar en casa. Oh, here we have many, many other examples. If I drink too much coffee, I won't sleep tonight. If I eat too much today, I will feel sick tomorrow. Well, we can, this is our all everyday, we use a lot for everyday situations. The conditionals, the first type of conditional. Vivi, can you read the other examples?
Yes, if you don't eat breakfast, you'll feel hungry later. If he eats spicy food, his stomach will hurt.
Yes, spicy food.
Spicy food, spice.
Yes,
Spice.
like Indian food, for example, that is
Exactly.
very spicy.
Or Mexican. Wow.
Yes, Mexican food also, yes.
Yes.
Or Peruvian food also, yes. Or
If we cook at home, we'll save more money.
okay, I didn't remember. A couple of hours when I was preparing, I was watching and seeing what we have to see in this class. I saw the phrase with the conditional, and I realized, I said, wow, it's we can see conditionals because they are very usual, and we can review conditionals. And I remember that I had a file with examples of the different type of conditionals. I'm laughing because you know that all these had to do with food, and it is because I made this file for a couple of friends of mine that are boys, and they love food. So all the examples has to do with food. Okay, so the second conditional is imaginary, for imaginary or hypothetical situations. And the verb tense that are used are past, or and the good, que in Spanish, usamos el subjuntivo en español, no usamos el pasado, pero ellos sí usan el pasado. Por ejemplo, porque, this example, if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Que ¿cómo diríamos en español? Decimos, si ganara la lotería, bueno, me iría de viaje, por ejemplo. But you have to remember that in English, they use the past. Entonces, para el primer tipo se usa el present and future. The second type, you use the past with the would. So, for example, and the would may be all the word or the contraction, I'd. For example, in this case. Nuhu, can you read? If I lived
near the sea, I'd go swimming every day.
every day.
If
Okay.
politicians were more honest, people would trust them more.
Very good.
Of course.
So, and here is an important point that even though we use past simple, it does not mean past time. Viste que no quiere decir que nos está refiriendo a algo que sucedió en el pasado. Es un subjuntivo, but it expresses distance from reality. It means that no es probable que pase. Entonces, para expresar, yes, less probability, they use past in English. And the third conditional, that is the one that is used in the text we were reading, this is for imaginary past or regrets. So we use it to talk about things that did not happen in the past, regrets or different past possibilities. For example, in this case, if I had studied more, I would have passed the exam. But it was something that didn't happen, and there is no possibility of that it happens because it was in the past and you cannot change the past. It has already happened.
Regrets es como arrepentimiento.
Claro, regret quiere decir, to regret something es lamentarse o arrepentirse de algo. If you have a regret, you regret not having done something. Cuando uno se arrepiente de no haber hecho algo. Por ejemplo, so in this case, this is a regret. If I had studied more, I would have passed the exam, for example. Si hubiera estudiado, hubiera aprobado. Pero bueno, ya no estudié y ya no aprobé. And the structure is past perfect. That's why we always had to use the had plus the participle, que es el pasado perfecto sería, que ¿para qué se usa? Para referirnos a un pasado antes del pasado, o sea, para expresar una acción que sucedió antes de algo en pasado. Entonces, y the other part, we have to use would have past. The good plus the past participle. Entonces, por eso es como kind of difficult or more complex. Here we have another example. If they had listened to the warnings, the crisis would have been avoided. For example, if I had known about the concert, I would have gone. Si me hubiese enterado que había un recital, hubiera ido. But it's past and I cannot change it. So, well, here you have, then I will send these notes to you that you have the different type of conditionals. And well, I also we'll send you some exercises to practice the different type of conditionals, because it is the way to learn about them. Then you have to remember the structures, what tenses you have to use in each type of condition. Okay. So let's go back to the text. So here he's talking about a hypothetical situation in the past, because he says, if the disciples had faith in the omnipresent consciousness of Jesus, what is the omnipresent consciousness? What can you say this in simple words?
It is in every place.
Yes, and if they have had faith in Jesus, they wouldn't have fear, have had fear. Okay, so then he gives another example about Saint Francis of Assisi, and he tells, let's read this story, and then we will watch a bit more of the video. What happened to Saint Francis of Assisi? Bibi, do you want to read here?
Yes. There is an episode in the life of Saint Francis of Assisi. He was a soldier, very
courageous. Courageous. When you have courage, you are brave. He was very courageous.
Yes, he had no physical fear, but he had one fear. He was afraid of leprosy and contacted it. And so one day, the story goes, he was reading his horse and
riding his horse to ride. His horse. Ride it means is a verb that is used to ride a horse, to ride a bicycle, montar una bicicleta.
Montar.
Yes, ride his horse or ride a bicycle.
His horse, and he met a leper on the roads. And he was
because it is the past. Meet is the present. Met is the past. He met on the road.
What is met? Leper.
Leproso.
Leprosos on the road.
The illness is leprosy, and one who have this illness is a leper.
And he was revolted. It rose up with him. He was revolted.
Yes.
Alterado si alguien lo rozaba.
Exacto. Yes. It rose up with him. Rose es not rosares. He was revolted. It means to feel revolted es cuando algo te da asco. Eso quiere decir. Revolted. ¿Vieron? Se usa mucho para cuando se te revuelve el estómago, ¿viste? Cuando decimos porque comiste mucho, porque algo te da asco. En este caso fue porque él vio el leproso y he felt revolted, and it says it rose up with him. It rose up es cuando ese asco, o sea, sentís como que te sube el asco, ¿vieron? Rose up es rise, como que algo te sube. Ok. But what did he do?
¿Sigo yo?
Let's, Gaby, what?
But what he did was he got off the horse and he went over to the leper and he kisses him and gave him money.
He kissed him and gave him money.
Yes.
Yes.
And like the Bible passage, this story too has many meaning.
Yes. Like the Bible passage, this
Mhm.
story too has many meanings.
Mhm.
Sri Yukteswar was the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, and there is a phrase of him that goes, look fear in the face and it will cease to trouble you. And
that was what Saint Francis did. He went right up to that fear and it was gone. He overcome it.
yes, he went right up to that fear. He faced the fear. He went to meet the fear. He didn't escape. He didn't avoid the situation. That's why he says, when you face your fear, it disappears. It's and here we have the two uses of face. You know that face can be used as a noun to look fear in the face. Es rostro, mirar al miedo a la cara y dejará de molestarte, sería. Look fear in the face and it will cease. Cease is a synonym of stop and is similar to Spanish, cesar. Cesar, dejar de molestarte. Cesar, cessation, es... this is the meaning. And so he says, he went right up to that fear and it was gone. He overcame it. What is to overcome something? In this way, he overcame fear. So, what would be a synonym of to overcome?
Vencer.
Yes, or to transcend fear. Yes, él lo superó al miedo de esa forma.
Cierto, lo
Overcome
habíamos
es superar
pasado.
algo. Entonces, es como
Superar.
que de esa forma, al enfrentarlo, he faced fear because face, when it is a noun, es cara o rostro. Y to face here is used as a verb. When you face fear, it disappears. Cuando enfrentas el miedo, como verbo significa eso, hacerle frente, enfrentar algo, en una situación.
Even I think, in my experience, we really are afraid of the fear. But when the situation is when a difficult situation present,
Comes,
in that moment,
situation appears or comes.
Yeah, in that moment, fear disappears because it's like an inner force that
Yes.
is that.
Power, you connect, yes.
Yeah,
With-
and you think I had many fear to that situation, and now I have not fear.
Yes.
I am calm because I need to be calm.
Sometimes because you have no option. Yes.
Yeah.
For instance, it comes to me the example of the people when they are afraid of, maybe many people are afraid of flying, for example. Are afraid of planes. And well, some of them don't face the fear because they take a pill to sleep during the flight, so they are not aware of the flight. But Others, well, sometimes you have no option, and it is like you say, that you have to face it, and when you face it, the fear disappears.
I would have fear of the pill, because if something happens, you are unconscious.
Yes, yes. You are not aware of it. You would be sleeping.
Yeah.
Like the disciples and like Jesus during the storm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, so here we can watch. He continues talking a bit more about this situation of Saint Francis of Assisi. So let's watch a bit part of the video to let me see if the sound is okay. No, we have to share the sound. Okay. So
second lesson of the St. Francis story is that God comes to us to help us overcome that. When St. Francis, after he gave kissed the leper and gave him money and rode off, he turned around on his horse, and there was no leper. There was nobody. God sends us fears in a way. You don't want to say that God sends us fears, but our reaction is fear. He sends us to situations in order for us to overcome. Affirmation I used to love to say was, "Dear Father, whatever conditions confront me, I know that they represent the next step in my unfoldment. I will welcome all tests because I know that within me is the intelligence to understand and the power to overcome." It all comes from God. There are no lepers, there are no clarabelles, it's all the divine. And the third lesson is, what gave Francis his courage to address the leper, to face the leper? It was his relationship with God. He had just become converted and changed his life. And that enabled him to change. As I was saying in the beginning, cessation of fear comes with God. Dr. Lewis was one of the early disciples when Paramahansa Yogananda arrived in Boston in 1920. One of the very first ones. And he became vice president and longtime disciple. And he gave services, and in one of them he said, "There is just one reason why we fear." Why do we fear? Because we feel separated from God. If you can feel your oneness with the master of the universe, do you think you will have any fear? Do you think you will lack any faith? God's omnipresent. God is omnipotent. And that God is the spirit within us. It's not something separate. Self-realization is the knowing that we are one with the omnipresence of God, that we don't have to pray that it come to us, but that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence.
okay. Yes. He is saying like the same you said before, Nuhu, that because how the story of Saint Francis ends, that what happened? He went, he kissed the leper, and then he rode his horse again, and when he turned to see, there was no leper. So this is kind of a a teaching or an example that he's giving us to say that what you said, when you face, the fear doesn't exist, this situation. When we face the fear disappears. It's not there. There are only situations that God sent us
To test.
yes, for us to learn to trust. And
I think the issue always is the faith, because
yes, it's the faith.
It's the faith. Yeah.
Yes, because, and here he says, he sends us the situations in order for us to overcome. This is the word that we have already seen. Nos manda esas situaciones para que las podamos superar o trascender, to overcome. And that's why he makes this affirmation. You know that the people, the followers of Yogananda, because Yogananda made a lot of affirmations. There is a book with affirmations of Yogananda, and one of these was this: Dear Father, whatever conditions confront me, I know that they represent the next step in my unfoldment. What is unfoldment?
Development.
Yes, development, evolution. Very good. Because what is to unfold something?
Desdoblar.
Yes, to fold is doblar, and to unfold, yes, is desplegar.
Desplegar.
Yes, develop. So a synonym would be development or evolution. Very good. So yes, we always say this. It's difficult to sometimes it's difficult to put it into practice, but as you have said, it's a question of trust, of faith. And all these trials come, or tests come for this reason to our lives. So, and to discover and to connect with our power, because you have also said this, that when you are at the situation and you have no option, the fear disappears because some kind of inner strength appear that you connect with this, and it is for this that the fear appears, or these kind of situations. To know, you know, that then he speaks about that we are afraid because we feel separated from God. And this is something very beautiful, because it doesn't mean only that we have to have faith. We have to feel the presence of God inside us, this inner strength that we connect with when we have fear. Is the presence of God in us. It is not something that is separated from us.
Yeah, even Jesus said we can do the same things he did.
Yes, he had done and more. Yes, and more. That is. Okay. So I will welcome. So we have to change our attitude to life, because he says, I will welcome all tests because I know that within me is the intelligence to understand and the power to overcome. It all comes from God. It's a very beautiful and powerful phrase, this. Okay. What is to welcome? This is, welcome means what? A positive attitude. If you welcome something, this is another word that can be used as a verb and as a noun. Because what is a welcome?
Bienvenida.
Yes. And if you welcome a situation, what does it mean?
Que la aceptas, que la recibes, que la agradeces porque te
You
es una oportunidad de
receive, you
crecer.
accept. You are open to that situation. Okay. Well, my friends, and he says there are no lepers. There are no well, because he had quoted another situation he overcame when he was a child, about a movie or something. Okay. Yes, we can read these last two sentences. What is the lesson of this? Nuhu, can you read it?
And the third lesson is what gave Francis his courage to address the leper, to face the leper. It was his relationship with God. He had just become converted and changed his life, and that enabled him to change. It was
Yes.
Enable. What is this? Enable?
Enable him, allow him to change, permitted him to change.
habilitar, es como lo habilitó para...
Claro, le dio la posibilidad,
Sí.
le permitió cambiar.
Ujú.
Yes, because he had converted. Se había convertido. Because yes, I don't remember exactly what was the story of Saint Francis of Assisi, but I think that he was very rich, and he was not religious, religious man. He liked to go to parties and to get drunk and many things, and then he converted. And
There is a very
became,
beautiful book called San Francisco de Asís. I think it's the same author that Sorbel Griego. How is his name? The name author. The same author.
Yes, I will
don't-
look for more information about his, because I know that it's a very beautiful story, the story of his conversion.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, so my friends, so here the key thing is that the cessation of fear comes with contact with God. Okay. And that's why he makes this question. Why do we fear? Because we feel separated from God. So, and he says, he's omnipresent and omnipotent. What does it mean to be omnipresent? Is to be everywhere. And omnipotent, someone who is omnipotent.
He have every power.
Yes, he can do anything. That's why we say that God is omnipotent, because and that God is the spirit within us. This is what we were talking about. We can connect with this strength and this power, and it's something that is within us. It's part of us, it's our essence. That's why he says that God is the spirit within us. It's not just something separate. Okay. Well. And well, this is something that has to become an experience, because he says self-realization is the knowing that we are one with the omnipresence of God. that we don't have to pray that it come to us, but that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence. Well, this is what we have to, sometimes we can experience this, but we forget. It is like this. Well, so to finish, you know that we always do a meditation or something of the sort, or sometimes we listen to a song. And today I was listening to the song that we saw and we went through last Friday, that Vivi, you were present, the song of the Beatles, Let It
Yes,
Be.
yes, yes. Let it be.
It was, I chose a version that was played by Paul McCartney at the concert when he gave the last concert in Buenos Aires in 2024.
Yes.
And it's a very beautiful version. So
Yes.
I said, well, I want to watch it again with you today. And so to finish, we can watch this version of the song that is very, very beautiful, because it's very powerful. I like it because I like the vibration when there are many people sharing a beautiful song that you can feel the energy and the love. Is very beautiful when there are so many people together, and that's why I chose this version. So let me check if we. And yes, and this is, sometimes music has this effect or this impact that can help us to connect with this peace and this love that we are. And this is one of these songs. Okay.
Okay. Very good, whatever it is. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Although they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. it's cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. We come to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Whoa, 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 now let it be.
Okay, my friends. This is a very beautiful song, and I was
Beautiful.
thinking that it is also a song of trust and of faith, because what does let it be means? It means, it's a phrase that means don't worry, stay calm, stay connected, have faith that everything will be okay. So it's a very beautiful song, and it's a very beautiful phrase for us to remember when a difficult situation comes to our life, to say, well, let it be. Trust, all will be okay. Well, my friends, thank you.
Thank you.
They're beautiful class.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye. I will send you exercises to practice conditionals for next
Yes.
class. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.